What's up, people? YouTube, this is what I'm bringing you guys another video to the channel, and today we're going to be discussing a weapon that I think is very underrated right now in Vanguard, and I think that eventually it'll be looked at as one of the best assault rifles in the entire game. Now, I have a class that I created that I felt like performed very well. Now, I will say that this class is something that you have to use in a very specific way. These attachments, I should say, have to be used in a very specific way. So keep that in mind, and I'll go into all of that here in just a moment. Now, if you guys do enjoy this video, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe for more videos in the future. If it ends up being useful for you, do all of the following. It helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead and let's jump into this class. Now, the class that we're going to be talking about today is the NZ-41. And now, typically in Call of Duty history, you would cover the class, maybe the secondary, and then especially the perks and lethals and stuff. But today we're not really going to do that. We're just going to specifically focus on the attachments of this weapon for the NZ-41. And I've kind of found that no matter what gun I decide to use, eventually, once I get the right attachments unlocked, almost every single gun turns into a monster. So, the attachments that I have currently equipped on this weapon are as follows. For the muzzle, I have the F8 stabilizer. For the underbarrel, I have the M1941 hand stop. Magazine is the 8mm Clouser 30-round mag. I have lengthened ammo type, the Orb Weaver 360mm barrel, the M38 Slate 2.5 times custom scope. Now, some of you guys are gonna be like, why would you use that? And I will talk about that in a moment. Then I have the Orb Weaver Epact stock. I have the stippled grip for my rear grip, and then I'm using brace for my proficiency and surplus for my kit. Now, the reason why I'm using this sight that I have on the weapon, I'll transition into some gameplay here. The reason why I'm using this sight on my weapon is specifically because it provides the best handling / control that you can get out of this weapon. Now, there's a couple things that I really noticed with this gun, and I made a video about it a few days ago that literally nobody saw, but there is now bloom inside of Vanguard. Call of Duty has added bloom to the game, so when you ADS and you shoot, your bullets are not always going to go exactly where your crosshairs are, but there are attachments that help negate that, such as accuracy. So this sight specifically gives +2 recoil control, +2 accuracy. And that is very important for this class because the recoil on this weapon can be a little bit out of hand, especially on sustained fire. And the accuracy is rough in terms of that bloom. I noticed this is one of the guns that I seem to feel like my shots were never really connecting. This completely changes that, as well as a couple of other attachments. The Orb Weaver Barrel is highly accurate and controllable. It reduces the sway of scopes, so you don't really feel like you're using a scope on top of that. And then, of course, the F8 stabilizer gives you another 2 bump to the accuracy, again, helping with that bloom effect that's in the game. It also increases your damage range. Then the hand stop also gives you another +1 on the accuracy, and then another +1 on recoil control. Then the stippled grip gives you +2 recoil recovery and +1 initial accuracy and recoil, also very important. The 8mm Clouser 30-round mag here is the thing that I want you guys to understand is like the thing that brings the whole gun together in a lot of ways. This is +5 recoil control and accuracy, +2 aim down sight speed, +2 fire rate, +1 movement speed. Very important here, but it does say that it's -2 bullet velocity and range, -1 bullet penetration, and -1 damage. So this weapon, I'm going to let you know right off the rip, is not something that you want to use for shooting through lots of cover. You're going to want to use this weapon this is a head glitch machine. That's what I would like to prefer this as. This is not your rush up close and get in people's face weapon. This is also not a gun that you want to use at super long ranges, but it does work very well at that medium range. And this is a weapon that you want to use to control points. This is a gun you want to use to control the flow of the map from mid-range locations and just really stop people, you know, from one end of a hallway to another, or from one building to another across the street. Stuff like that is where this weapon is very good. And that also caters to a lot of my playstyle. I don't like to sit super far back, but I'm not always in the mood to be rushing and getting into people's faces. Sometimes I kind of want to play that AR role, and this really fits that type of playstyle if it's done correctly. Now, another thing that really helped with this class is the Orb Weaver Epact stock. That gives you +3 recoil control, +3 accuracy, +2 recoil recovery and +2 flinch resistance. Now, one thing that I will say is after I've kitted this weapon out, the thing you want to try to do as quickly as possible is you want to get the first shots. Like, that's kind of a given all the time in Call of Duty, but with this weapon particularly, even though this has a +2 flinch resistance, I still notice that I do get a bit of flinch, especially over sustained fire. So you want to be trying to get your shots on right away. You want to be taking out targets as fast as possible when using this weapon, because the flinch can be a little bit hard to manage at times. And then, of course, for the proficiency, we have Brace, which is just another initial accuracy and recoil. And we also have Surplus, which is just kill XP. None of this other stuff in here was really that useful because I don't have a lot of reason to use a lot of this. So just some bonus XP never really hurt anybody. But that is all the attachments on the weapon. And just kind of going back into how you want to use this gun, I found that it just worked very, very well on those medium style maps, I guess you could say. Like, I could pull this weapon off on a map like DOS House. I mean, you can use this weapon. This is one of those guns you sit in the back of your spawn, you shoot down the long hallway, you catch people on the cross. That is where this gun works the best. Now, there are other maps that this works really well on. Oasis, Sub-Pen. It works really well on Dome, surprisingly. I know that's a small map, but again, it's one of those things where you want to use it to watch the cross. You want to pick people across on that catwalk. Those are the areas where you really want to use this gun. And then pretty much any map that you can think of aside from like Red Star, I don't think this gun works very well there. Or the giant desert map, I don't think that it's a great fit for that map either, just because there's way too many long range sight lines. But pretty much anything else it works pretty well in. It almost is like an SMG assault rifle hybrid. Don't want to get too close, don't want to be too far away, and that's kind of where this assault rifle fits. That's its bread and butter. And I guarantee you guys, if you use this class, you're going to be noticing that your initial recoil is so low that if you're able to hit your shots, it's going to be literally a laser beam, and you're going to be melting people in that medium distance range, and they won't stand a chance. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Anyways, guys, deuces.